Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we are solving minimum time visiting all points. So in this problem, we will be given a 2D plane and there will be endpoints with the integer coordinates of x and y, and we want to return the minimum time in seconds to visit all the points in the order given by points. So we will have to visit according to the order because what it says here. Now in 1 second, we can either move vertically, move horizontally, or we can move 1 unit vertically and 1 unit horizontally. In other words, move diagonally. So if we look at this example, it will take 7 seconds to go through all the points because we have to start here 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if we look at this example, if you graph this out, you will see that it takes 5 seconds. So now that we have seen some examples, let's get to how we can solve this problem. So to solve this problem, we should know that the time between 2 points will always be the max between the x coordinates difference and the y coordinates difference. So even if we are not going vertically straight or horizontally straight, if we want to go from here to here, for example, we will maybe have to do straight 1, straight 2, and then diagonal on the third one, and similar here, maybe diagonal first and then go straight, or go straight for 2 times and then go diagonal on the third. And like it says here, we will take the max between the x difference, which is 1 here and 3 here, and the difference in y would be 3 here and 1 here. And as you can see, the time to travel from one place to both places would both be 3 for these 2 examples, and we're using this formula to calculate that. So what we can do is we can iterate from the second point to the end, and at each point we will find the difference between the x coordinates and the difference between the y coordinates to their previous coordinates, or the coordinates at the previous index of points, and we will add the larger difference between these two to the resulting sum, and in the end we can return the resulting sum. So let's go over this example real quick. So the difference between x is 2, difference between y is 3, y is larger so we add 3 to result. Move on to the next one. The difference between x would be 4, and the same would be for y. So we can select either and we will add 4 to result. And now that we have come to the end, we can return 7 as the resulting time. So the time complexity would be O of n, where n is the number of integer coordinates in the input array, because that is the number of points that we will iterate through. And the space complexity would be O of 1, because the size of these variables will not depend on the problem input. So now let's get to the coding part. So first we will initialize result to 0, and now we will iterate from 1 to the length of points. And first we will calculate the x difference, so it will be the absolute value of points of I0 minus points of I minus 1 of 0. And then we will calculate the difference between the y coordinates afterwards. So y would be equal to the absolute value of points of I of 1 minus points of I minus 1 of 1. And result, we will add that by the max between x or y. And then finally we can return result. See if it works. Okay, perfect. Hope this was helpful. Thank you all for watching. If you have any other questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section, and I hope to see you all again soon.